This Aqua Butte fire is the #1 priority fire in the nation.
As you just heard, the Aqua Butte fire burning near Sisters has become the country's top priority. Now at 6, we'll tell you how big that fire has grown and what people living in the area need to know.
Plus, shocking video out of Washington showing a plane engulfed in flames after crashing near the San Juan Islands. Somehow, everyone on board survived, and we'll tell you how many people were lucky enough to make it out alive.
And do you have enough money to retire? Why a new study says paying for health care in your later years may be more expensive than you think. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Friday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Matthew Herchik. Glad to have you with us. So we had 2 weather impact alert days this week. So Rod was just like, nah, I'm out.
He's tired.
I'm out.
Needs a break.
Yeah,
He's
Chris,
working on his golf game today, actually.
That's not surprising
positive.
at all. He's probably playing 36.
And I've got this to bring you this morning. So there you go, a beautiful sunrise from our Wells Fargo sky camera. Sun up now, sunrise getting a little bit later, 5:45 actually. So now that we're in the 6 o'clock hour, it is up. You can see it. There's minimal cloud cover over the Rose City this morning. It's currently 60 in Beaverton, 61 Wilsonville, and Salem kicking off with 58 degrees. So the plan for today, without the cloud cover to burn off, remember it took a while yesterday afternoon. So today, full sunshine means a warmer afternoon. PDX hit 81 yesterday. I've got us up to about 86, maybe 87 this afternoon. A noticeable warm up from yesterday. And then a cool down with some clouds on Saturday. We'll look at that forecast in just a few minutes. Let's get you out the door with a live look at the roads. The roads are in really good shape. I don't have any major freeway trouble at this point, although an overnight early morning crash out on Highway 26. ODOT reporting that is still closed. There is a local detour set up that uses Cherryville Road. This is just east of Sandy. So again, that will add some time to your morning commute, but otherwise we don't have any major freeway trouble out there. A big reminder though, tonight the Morrison Bridge closes at 9 p.m. This will be about a 3.5-day closure as the county continues strengthening work over on those east side approach ramps. The bridge is set to reopen on Tuesday morning at 5 a.m. Back to you.
Chris, thank you. Well, we start with what the Oregon Department of Forestry is now calling their #1 priority in the country. We're talking about the Aqua Butte fire burning north of the town of Sisters. This is a live look from the wildfire alert cameras at the Oregon Hazards Lab. You can see all the ash on the camera lens and, of course, the smoke off in the distance there.
As of last check, that fire is more than 26,000 acres and only 5% contained. Our Owen McCarty brings us the latest from the Incident Command Post south of Sisters.
In Sisters, fire officials Thursday made a few things clear at a community meeting. One of those being that the 1,000 or so firefighters who are on the ground here are doing everything in their power to get a handle on the Aqua Butte fire. But they do say there will be challenges with this fire in the days ahead. Inside a cool auditorium at Sisters High School,
I want you all to stay strong. We will get through this together. And please stay calm, but stay informed.
assurances and information from fire officials.
This Aqua Butte fire is the #1 priority fire in the nation. In essence, gives us dibs on the resources.
The panel didn't downplay the seriousness of the 26,000-acre fire, which intensified Wednesday before rain set in. Thursday, they said, was better.
The wind wasn't as bad. As you guys noticed, there wasn't a giant column of smoke out there today, right? So it settled down. The rain helped us out quite a bit, but it was still, with the wind coming in, it dried the grass out, so we were getting spot fires.
The Deschutes County Sheriff's Office urging residents to heed evacuation warnings and be ready at a moment's notice. Matt Flock with the Oregon Department of Forestry emphasizing that message.
We're just trying to keep you safe. We put those up so that you're in a good spot so that we can get in and access that area and really put that fire out.
We're zone 1.
Residents like Jerry Kolb are ready. He explains the community isn't just ready to evacuate, they're prepared to help their neighbors.
We can just live with it and make it work. You know, it's going to take a strain on a lot of people. Virtually everybody there is going to be doing something to forward this effort this week.
Some of the officials told the public that they are cautiously optimistic when it comes to the evacuation levels holding steady. But because there is a red flag warning Friday and Saturday, things could change, and there is still risk when it comes to this fire, and the fight is far from over. In Deschutes County, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
And Portland Fire and Rescue sent its own team to respond to the Aqua Butte fire. It's made up of 4 firefighters who are trained not only to put out fires, but to help fellow firefighters who get stuck in vehicles or need a rope rescue. The crew also has a paramedic.
Our REMs being available on the division gives them confidence to go do good work, knowing should they have a bad day, folks are coming for them.
The Rapid Extraction Module Support Team, or REMS, will work 16-hour days for the next 2 weeks.
And a fire burning on the border of Wasco and Jefferson counties is now causing new evacuations. This is the 10-mile fire. The sheriff's office issued a level 3 go now order to those living near Highway 97 up to the county border in Jefferson County. Crews described extreme fire danger in the area.
An Alaska Airlines flight had to make an emergency landing in Eugene. The Boeing 737 was headed from Orange County, California to Seattle when it had some sort of mechanical issue. The plane touched down safely just after noon yesterday, and all 167 people on board are okay. Alaska says its maintenance crews will inspect the aircraft.
And check this out, video out of Washington where 11 people survived this plane crash in the San Juan Islands. Everyone was taken to the hospital for injuries ranging from head trauma to broken bones. Officials from Kenmore Airs say the float plane took off yesterday afternoon around 4:30 and went down around 5:15. Crews from the U.S. and Canadian Coast Guard, Navy, and San Juan County responded by air and water. You can see Good Samaritan boats helped in the rescue as well. Storms were moving through the area at the time of the crash and may have been a factor. The FAA and NTSB are investigating. Meanwhile, Kenmore Air has canceled all flights for now.
A rockfall at Mount Rainier National Park killed one climber and left 3 others injured. Park officials say the incident happened Sunday morning. 6 climbers up about 11,000 feet high when rocks fell on a popular climbing route. Authorities say the rockfall was caused by natural mountain activity, which is typical for this time of year. Your time now is 6:07. When Portland voters head to the polls this November, one measure could change who helps decide how millions of city dollars are spent.
So the citizen-led initiative called Your 2 Cents PDX has officially qualified for the November ballot. If approved, it would create a new way for Portlanders to take part in the city's budget process. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson is joining us live this morning. So Corey, how exactly will this work?
Yeah, good morning, Matthew. China, if this is approved come November, the Your 2 Cents PDX measure would create something called participatory budgeting. And essentially, this would allow Portlanders to decide exactly how 2% of the city's discretionary budget, which is money city leaders have flexibility in how they spend, is used. And based on the city's current budget projections, that 2% would amount to about $16.4 million next year and about $17 million the following year. Under current city charter, when deciding how money is spent, Portland's mayor works with the city administrator and staff to develop a budget proposal. City council then considers that proposal, holds public hearings, and amends it as they see fit. But supporters of the Your 2 Cents PDX measure say it would give residents more direct input by letting them submit ideas for citywide and district projects. City staff and volunteer budget delegates would then narrow those proposals to a list of feasible projects, and residents would vote on which ones receive the funding. The measure qualified after city elections officials certified more than 78,000 signatures to place it on the November ballot. That's well above the roughly 41,000 that were required to put it on the ballot. And if approved by voters come November, the program would need to be up and running by next July, and it would also have to comply with Oregon budget law, of course, too. Matthew, China.
Corey Johnson reporting live for us this morning. Corey, thank you very much. Meanwhile, you may be budgeting for retirement, but have you set aside enough money for healthcare costs in your golden years? New research from Fidelity found that staying healthy during retirement may cost more than ever. They say the average 65-year-old retiring this year will spend around $185,000 on healthcare through their retirement. That's more than 7% higher than last year. Fidelity says the uptick is driven by rising prices for care and higher costs tied to chronic conditions.
The FDA is recalling select lots of generic brand Zyrtec because another medication was mistakenly put in the bottle. Instead of the allergy medication, the bottles were contaminated with ranitidine, which is used to treat things like heartburn and stomach ulcers. The mix-up could be life-threatening for people who are hypersensitive to the medication. Right now, there haven't been any reports of adverse reactions related to the recall, but for a list of which specific bottles are being recalled, head to the FDA's website.
And health officials are warning about a new potential measles exposure at a trampoline park in Beaverton. They say someone with the virus was at the Sky Zone trampoline park last Saturday from noon to 3. If you were there, health officials say you should contact your doctor, especially if you are not vaccinated. Now, in the last hour, we heard from Sky Zone, which says the health and safety of guests and their team is a top priority. They say they're upping cleaning protocols and deep cleaning high-touch surfaces throughout the day. They added in part, quote, "We are in close contact with local health authorities and are following their guidance."
If you were watching Sunrise yesterday, then you may have seen this video. A man in Arkansas dressed up as a Spider-Man rushing in to help a man in a wheelchair that was crossing the street. And this morning, we're learning who the man behind the mask is. His name is Christopher Hellenthal. He says he had just finished work at the trampoline park when he spotted the man struggling and jumped in to help. He says he's loved comics since he was a kid and now wants to pass that on to the next generation.
I met Stan Lee whenever I was real young, and I always thought that whenever I get older, if I could just put on a suit and make some little kid believe that he saw the real one, that maybe he'd turn out to be a good person.
As for why he was dressed in a superhero suit, it was for Superhero Day for toddlers at the trampoline park where he works.
All right, it is 6:12. Let's get back over to Chris for a look at our forecast.
Love that.
Yeah, that was a...
Would have been nice if maybe he took off the mask for the interview.
But that's what I was going to say.
Humble man.
Right.
Humble. Always in character.
Yes.
Chris, it's going to be a little bit sunnier today, you said.
Yeah, sunnier for sure. And so as we look at our Wells Fargo sky camera, we don't have the morning cloud cover to burn off. And so with that, a good looking day. And also today will wind up being a little warmer than yesterday. 62 last check at PDX. We take you to the Oregon coast where it is cloudy. Sponsored by Seaside, we take you to Seaside, and you can see some low clouds there, maybe even a little mist off in the distance as some folks get their early morning beach walk in. Currently 58 in Seaside, and we'll take you up to the mountain. This is a really pretty shot. Mount Jefferson off in the distance, this from Timberline. I'm bringing this up because I wanted to point out it's still quite warm up at Timberline Lodge. That's at 6,000 feet. On Mount Hood. The current temperature is 64. So the air mass that we're in it's not as hot as it was earlier in the week, but it's still warm. And with full sunshine in our forecast today, again, today will be a warmer day up and down the I-5 corridor. We're starting off at 59 in Beaverton, 58 Salem, hopping over the Cascades, really warm out towards Pendleton, 67 at last check, and Astoria along the North Oregon coast at 59, where you will probably warm into the mid-60s this afternoon after the clouds burn off. No clouds in the valley, so take whatever you had on your backyard thermometer and tack on maybe 3 to 6 degrees this afternoon here up and down the Willamette Valley. East of Cascades, of course, wildfire smoke continues to be the story. That and high fire danger. Air quality is maybe not as bad as it was earlier in the week, but there are still some pockets of very poor air quality across Deschutes and Jefferson and Wasco counties, out towards Wheeler and Grant counties as well. And we mentioned the fire danger, again, remains high. This is in addition to the ongoing fires that we have. Westerly winds pick up today and tomorrow, and that means that fire behavior could become more erratic, and any new fire starts could specifically, those could be a more concern here as we go into the next 36 hours with gusty winds on that side of the state. Futurecast shows not a cloud in the sky this morning. Tomorrow will be a cloudy day, and so with that in mind, our weekend forecast is actually going to be quite a bit cooler. There may even be some sprinkles at the coast as we get into that. I've got us at 75 tomorrow here in Portland, and then afternoon clearing on Sunday with a high near 80. Back to you.
Thank you, Chris.